Okay, and I just lost all audio. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. What's up, everybody? It's Player Profiler News Primetime, Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Brendan Booth. With me, as always, is Justin Curry, a.k.a. Chev, a.k.a. the legendary ball knower, a.k.a. Chev Doer Sanders. And we also have a very special guest today. His name on Twitter is @HoovTube. He goes by Hoov. There are a lot of people that I have come across in the years that I've been doing this content creation thing. And I haven't had a chance to meet and interface live with very many people. But Hoov is a guy that I got to meet in Canton last year. Look forward to seeing him at the draft in Green Bay on the 24th of April. And we have been going back and forth over on Blue Sky. We did a draft over there. Chev and I have been in a bunch of mock drafts, so we're going to take care of that today. And that'll come a little bit later in the show. We got some NFL news to talk about. But first, go ahead and like the show, subscribe, hit us up over on Profiler_now over on Twitter. That's the Player Profiler Now. Also, rookie guide just dropped today. Go to playerprofiler.com and cop that. And I have some fast draft news. If you see me on Twitter at all, I've been posting a couple of my portfolios. Go to Fast Draft. It's fastdraft.app. They just introduced a free game. It's the Flex 4 game, and it's free as kind of, like, hey, get in here, get your feet wet, see what it's all about. The Flex 4 game is $5 for the pay side. I'm pretty sure that if you win the free one, you get credits to enter other tournaments. Then we have the Origins, which is all rookies, and D-Up, which is all defense, and those are $10 games. But you see down in the little corner of the screen where it says use code BOOTH for a $25 deposit match. That has been bumped to $50. So now you can drop $50. You get $50 back. And if you're playing Flex 4, that's 20 teams that you're paying, that you're getting for the price of 10. So go to fastdraft.app and get on that stuff. Dustin is in the chat. Killer stuff on FFPC last night, bigz. I had a really good time on that show. That was fantastic. Yeah. Got to, show my brain, show the inside of this bony ass cranium that I got. And it was good. I thought it was a good show. And I'd never spoken to the high stakes people before. So hopefully somebody with like a $7,500 buy-in is going to listen to some of my takes and win some money. $10,000 buy-in. Get it. All right. Yes. So obviously the big news of the day, Aaron Rodgers met with the Pittsburgh Steelers today for about 6 hours and came out of it without a contract. And the New York Giants are apparently still in the decision-making process. Rodgers has been talking to the Steelers for a long time. They finally got together. There has been a structured deal that has been on the table for a couple weeks. The Steelers are just waiting for Aaron Rodgers to take it. It looks like the Minnesota dalliance could have been just an angle play, try and like institute some leverage. I found this thing on Temu, and it reminds me of Aaron Rodgers. If you go into Temu and you put some things in your cart, say it's $200 worth of merchandise in your cart, and then you leave and you don't come back, you start getting emails. Hey, we dropped it down to 66 cents. And so I think that's what Aaron Rodgers is trying to do. He's trying to Temu the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Honestly, like let's skip all the pageantry. Let's go straight to hey, we're in week 6. George Pickens just threatened him on the sideline with violence, and DK Metcalf is like choking officials out and stuff. And the Steelers are like 2-4 en route to another 9-8 finish, and Tomlin finishes above 500, and nobody calls for his job because he's like, look at these nut jobs that he had to manage, and he's added in like a darkness retreat nut job to go along with like the mercurial receivers. Like, just bring me the drama. Just I want to feel something. I want to feel something other than like disappointment when I watch the Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
So let's go hypothetical. Hoov, what happens if Aaron Rodgers is if he picks Pittsburgh?
I don't think anything changes really. That
for whom?
I'm going to talk a lot about Aaron later in the show, so I'm going to keep my opinion limited at this moment. But I will say that if the Steelers wanted Aaron Rodgers that badly, he would not have left today without a contract. That's my opinion.
Okay.
That if they really badly needed a quarterback, they would have given the extra money, whatever that he's asking for, because that's got to be what it is. If they're between the Giants and the Steelers right now, it's got to be coming down to nickel and diamond. You know, I want the most money out of the Steelers, so I'm going to leave the building and I'm going to negotiate with the Giants when probably that's not a reality. It could be an option, but most likely we kind of know that the Steelers are like the number one for Aaron. But like
Sure.
I said, on Blue Sky, there could be another option for the Steelers and someone that is very equal to Aaron Rodgers' skill set at this moment. So,
juicy.
We'll talk about that later.
That's called a teaser, boys and girls, and
Teaser.
that is skill.
So, there's a when somebody is we'll just I'm not going to mince words when you have a cheating spouse, they try and have their cake and eat it too, or eat their cake and have it too. And so they will string along their married partner while they still get their cake on the side. Is that what the Steelers are doing to Russell Wilson, Chev? Are they just waiting on Aaron Rodgers, knowing that if they have a fallback option with Russell Wilson, and so if Aaron Rodgers spurns them, they're like, okay, I'll go back to the wife.
Most certainly. I mean, as bad as Aaron Rodgers was last year, was he better than Russell Wilson? Unequivocally. So if you have a chance to upgrade in what you think would be the missing piece to get you from 10-7 to 13-4, or whatever the case may be, even though Rodgers' skill set has very obviously declined, he's still a superior quarterback to Russell Wilson. So if they can wait it out and then sign Aaron Rodgers, or if they have to go with Russell Wilson, then they go into the draft knowing that they're going to take Jackson Dart at like 21.
No. All right. Who?
I don't know about that.
Oops.
Quick to you. Just a percentage chance that the Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback in September, August, whatever, week 1 is Kirk Cousins.
Let's see. All right. So what are the odds of winning the lottery and being struck by lightning at the same time?
I don't know. I think your odds are better getting struck by lightning.
Oh, I know, but doing them at the same time. That's about the odds that I put that Kirk Cousins is the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh.
Okay. How about you, Hoov?
5.
5? I was going to say 10.
5. It's just there's other options. Like, we know, is Aaron the better option out of him and Russ? I guess. Like, probably.
Yes, he is unequivocally the better option.
Okay,
like, we watched Kirk Cousins play football last year, and he was out there hobbling around like old peg leg Jones, just trying to like get into bootlegs, or having to get out of the having to be in the shotgun and not being able to run bootlegs because he's like, oh, I can't move to my right. Like, it's over for Kirk Cousins.
Right.
It's
Aaron's the best option. But for me, if Kirk's going to go anywhere, you're looking at, I'm still going to throw the Colts on there, and I'm still going to say Cleveland is an option with Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they've got history.
Probably the 2 shining destinations for Kirk Cousins if he becomes available. But
so is this with
that 10 million is crazy to me. I just don't get it.
Is this with the assumption that Atlanta eats that cap hit?
For a 6th-round pick, I guess that is what they're doing, Like, why? Like, I don't get
it. Or Here's another one. In the next week, Russell Wilson signs with Cleveland. Aaron Rodgers signs with the New York Giants. Kirk Cousins has a no trade clause. Pickens to Atlanta. Kirk to Pittsburgh.
There's no way. Like, what else are they giving the Steelers to trade? Like, what else are they giving the Steelers to take Kirk Cousins and give up George Pickens?
I don't know. Pay his contract. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there because it's all crazy and stupid, and that's what Aaron Rodgers does to people.
If we're going to throw something out there with George Pickens and a George Pickens trade, I'll sideline this for 1 second. The only person that is announced right now to be playing in Kyler Murray's first softball game that's not a part of the Arizona Cardinals is George Pickens. That's all I'll say about that. So could George Pickens be on the other side of Marv? Like, that would be perfect. On the other side of DK.
Not for Pickens. If Kyler can't see Marv, he certainly won't be able to see Pickens run his win sprints.
Boys, let's be fair. What George does incredibly well, what he's recorded over 700 yards outside the numbers, more than 20 yards down the field since 2023 per NFL Pro, is record long distance catches. So if he doesn't have to see over the line, and he can just go, oh, he's out there. That's good. Like, he can just, hey, we know Kyler can chuck it. He can't see to chuck it over the middle of the field.
And that takes pressure off of Marv too, and that helps Marv, and that helps McBride, and you got Connor in the back.
I don't like what you just did here, Hoov. I let my George Pickens hope die. I was just like, all right, man, it's never gonna happen. And now
about the possibilities. That's all
I'm just gonna be laying in bed just watching George Pickens contested catch highlights, thinking about him in a Cardinals uniform.
Oh no! All right, there's other news to get to. That's okay. We have some like ground shaking stuff. There's a concept called the doldrums. It's an area in the ocean where there is no wind blowing. So you get a ship that's wind powered by their sails, and all of a sudden they stop moving, because that's what you can kind of check the second week of free agency to be, and that's kind of where we're sitting. Ground shaking, earth shattering news: Mecole Hardman signs with the Green Bay Packers. Rondale Moore,
5 wide receiver ones now.
Rondale Moore signs with the Minnesota Vikings. Shout out Sac State. The Browns add receiver and return specialist DeAndre Carter. Raiders legend.
Good for him.
The Baltimore Ravens are totally in good shape. If something dire were to happen to Lamar Jackson, Cooper Rush has signed with the Baltimore Ravens. And the Washington Commanders have announced they will move Terry McLaurin to the wide receiver 2 spot because they have just signed Michael Gallup.
Love that.
All right.
For Devo, and you threw up the Gallup thing, and I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Hey, we're a show. We're a knuckleball curveball show there, Hoov.
I actually like that landing spot a lot. Like, I'm guessing that Gallup was one of those guys that really got down with Dan Quinn with the Cowboys. That's probably like some kind of connection.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's probably like, hey, I like the way that guy practiced against my defense. Let me get him in here.
Unfortunately, he couldn't beat a bunch of scrubs in Las Vegas for a spot last year. So
hey, he wasn't motivated to play football, but now that he's going to be with a competent organization.
Right. Okay. My bad.
Once the motivation sets in.
I always forget.
He had to take a year off of football to realize how much he loved the paychecks from football, and now he's back.
All right. We're going to get to the mock draft. My target is to hit the first round. If we go fast enough, we can hit the second. I got to be at work at 5:00. So let's do that right after this.
I am proud to announce that Fast Draft now has an all-defense game called D-Up. That's right, fans of IDP finally have a real money best ball game that they can play. No more manually setting up leagues every time you want to do a draft. No. Now you can play for 10 grand, 2,000 to first. Could draft up to 30 teams, all defense. And the best part, balanced scoring, tackles for loss, pass breakups. It all factors in. Just draft 6 defensive players, Top 4 into your lineup every week. It's that easy. It's so easy that this isn't just for IDP people. If you love the NFL, then you'll love this game. And for the first time with Fast Draft, you can sweat both sides of the ball on Sunday. So use your host promo code to get a $25 deposit match, and you'll love this D-Up contest because it's about time we got one.
That's funny.
God, it makes me want to run through a brick wall. Matthew Kelly, everybody. I'm an IDP people. And let me look at my portfolio real quick. Who is my most owned IDP people? Zaire Franklin and Terrell Bernard. 100% ownership. All right, let's get to this mock draft. Before that, we have laughing at Hardman and Gallup while thinking Kirk Cousins is still something. I didn't say Kirk Cousins was anything, but he's an NFL quarterback under contract, and that's desirable to somebody. Carter Bradley has a contract in the NFL. But what do you want?
Point to the doll.
So
point to where on the doll that Kirk Cousins hurt you, bud. Just relax a little bit.
Draft too high in fantasy.
He's probably a Falcons fan. All right. I don't know how well everybody can see that, but that's okay. Chev Sanders, you are on the clock. Do they sign Cameron Ward to a contract before the draft even starts?
Click the button. Pull the lever, Kronk.
Okay.
Easy.
All right. We'll have Hoov go for the Browns.
This one is pretty easy for me, actually. It's getting easier by the day. And I'm going to go with Shedeur Sanders here. And I'm going to lock that up. I bought in for a long time. I bought in for a long time thinking the possibility of him falling. And then I thought more about it, and I thought more, and I listened to Todd McShay in the Todd McShay report. Make sure you guys go and Google it if you haven't. He says that every episode. I check out every show, and he's really helped me guide me along this process. And so I want to give credit to Todd. And so it makes so much sense. Is like Kevin Stefanski, when he has a pocket passing quarterback, like, look at what he can do. Like, he can do it with Case Keenum. He can do it with Kirk Cousins. As long as it's not a mentally, physically depleted Deshaun Watson, Kevin Stefanski is going to get the most out of the quarterback. So I'm going to go with Shedeur Sanders, and I'm going to make the Giants sweat here at 3. And I got a scenario with the Giants too, but we're going to lock up Shedeur here at 2.
All right. I am going to pick for the Giants, and I'm going to go with T. Hunt. I think he gives the Giants a dangerous weapon opposite Malik Neighbors and a weapon on defense. I think that's a pick that you just can't pass up. He by all means could be the 101. I know that Chev loves him. Could be the 102, could be the 103. If he's falling to 103, 104, 105, or to the Raiders at 106, something is seriously wrong with the NFL. Dude is generational and needs to find a home as quickly as possible. I would stab a baby for him to be a Raider. All right. I didn't say what kind of baby or stab with what. I
hope
I'd stab a baby stuffed animal with a lollipop.
Yeah,
Can I transition so I can hype up Chev a little bit?
And yeah, you're a sicko if you thought I was thinking anything else.
I don't know what you were thinking. There's just so much room for activities with a statement like that.
Right. And
with 3, I actually agree. I think that this is going to be Travis Hunter, but I don't necessarily agree that it's going to be the Giants. Now, bigz, you're the guy I know I can talk to you about this, that you're going to understand this. Kuiper's recent mock draft 3.0 has Jackson Dart going at 9 to the Saints as QB3 off the board. Now, who in the top 10 do the Giants really need a corner that badly? Or look at someone like 7 that could really use a DJ Reed replacement, could really use a Devontae Adams replacement. What about the Jets moving up to 3 and you get Aaron Glenn being the coach and knowing what to get the most out of Travis Hunter? What do you think?
Oh my.
I mean, with the Giants, all things are possible. And Chev, I think, is the one that made that point last night, or somebody did. The Giants are dumb. So if not taking the best player available in the draft and trading back because you're trying to fill needs in the top 10 is what you're doing, then yeah, it's certainly possible.
Is it
What's
dumb?
that?
Because look at your Raiders right there at 6. They moved back to 7, and they're basically saying, all right, the Patriots aren't drafting a quarterback. Jaguars aren't drafting a quarterback. They're basically daring you and saying, we dare you to take Jackson Dart or Ashton Genty, and whoever falls to us, we're taking them. They could either get their Saquon replacement or they can get their quarterback. And it makes so much sense just to move back that little bit, gain some draft capital. And let's say the Raiders do take Dart at 6. Then they have the draft capital to be like, we're going to move up it later and we're going to go get Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, I don't think that happens anymore. That was my wish casting, but at this point, kind of trying to study the way that that the GM drafts. He drafts offensive line. I think that's where they're going.
John
a lot of
Spytek,
every mock has Genty. Spytek. Everybody has Genty going at 106 to the Raiders. I don't think that's going to happen either. Spytek is a builder. He went out and he got his quarterback similar to what he did bringing Tom Brady in when his options were Jameis Winston and Kyle Trask. He was like, you know what? Let's go win a Super Bowl with Brady. I think it's a similar move to go get Geno Smith. Not that Geno Smith is anywhere near Tom Brady's level or that the Raiders are going to come close to a Super Bowl in the next couple of years, but it is the same type of move. And so I feel him building the offense the offensive line. So for the Patriots, we're going to go ahead and have Chev make that call. And I know who you're going to take.
Yeah, I'm taking Abdul Carter. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a steal at 4.
That's a lock right there.
And Jags, Hoov.
We'll take Mason Graham. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Okay, this is all falling into place. I'm going to zigzag a little bit and give Membo to the Raiders. The reason I say that is because he's hyper athletic. They can play him at guard, which is they need help on the interior offensive line. And at such time as he is ready to unseat Colton Miller, then he moves to tackle and he'll be fine.
It's a good fit.
Yeah, love him.
I wonder.
And Will Campbell is more of he's a guy. He's a guy that you draft him as a tackle and you stick him at tackle. What's that?
Were they there today at his pro day? I know his pro day was today. It's
I haven't.
Michigan.
I had jury duty this morning and got assigned to the jury pool for jury selection on Monday. So I was heavily involved in that earlier today. So I didn't really get around to checking the visits website. However, I did learn about another pro day on March 31st that I tweeted about. It's 3 teams in Sacramento at Sacramento State, and it'll be Sacramento State's representatives, Hawaii's representatives, and UC Davis's representatives. So Lan Larison, come on down. He's going to show out what he couldn't do at the Senior Bowl and the Combine. All right, and Chev,
is Lan Larison's agent paying you?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
We need to get in contact with his people.
But hey, reach out.
We gotta get that figured out. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and give me Will Campbell here.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. No, it went right. And then Hoov, Carolina.
I'll go with Jalen Walker here. I think that they could definitely use a Brian Burns replacement and just a linebacker edge capability. Like the ceiling is Micah Parsons for Jalen Walker. And I think that he's got to be the second edge off the board, just with that left linebacker capability. Like, it's really tough. I think that that's probably the biggest thing I've been going back and forth about is how the edges are going to fall. I'm going to go with Jalen Walker to the Panthers here.
Interesting.
All right. I am going Will Johnson to the Saints. Saints need defensive help. They lost 2 cornerbacks in the last calendar year. And I think he'd be a good fit in New Orleans. All right, Chev, Bears.
Well, you've left me with so many good options here. And the option that I have to take is Shamar Stewart.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. We're going to pair up. We're going to give them one of the most athletic defensive end pairings in the entire NFL to go along with that young secondary that's full of studs. And we're going to figure out the offensive line with picks 39 and 41 in the second round.
Okay. I would have had Genty going there, but
I had Hampton going there. So I am just you guys are really punting the running back position, aren't you?
Well, I mean, there's just so much talent to be had.
And no value at the position.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Genty is, what we believe to be the best running back. Like, I'm reading the comments here. Sorry. You ever get sniped?
We got comments.
Too bad, Dustin. You suck.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Hey, Dustin, last night on the Dynasty Pulse, we were talking about Dynasty buy lows to stash. And initially, Malik Washington was my guy that I was going to talk about. So sorry that happened to you.
I did it to him. That's why he's commenting in the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job, Chev. Great pick.
I love. I'm gonna drink his tears when we get off camera.
That's fantastic. All the Malik Washington love in here.
Everywhere. Jalen Waddle never, Malik Washington forever.
Yeah. All right, Hoov. We got 49ers at 11.
I got sniped already on who I think the Niners are going to take. So I'm just going to go with the same position. I know Miami's going to be pissed, but I'm going to put Kelvin Banks on the Niners. Need a Trent Williams replacement. You need someone at guard. It's probably going to be the guard for the future with Aaron going to the Packers. So I'm going with Kelvin Banks.
Golly, I've loved every single one of your picks so far.
Thank you. Just wait till you see the full thing. It is nuts. It is nuts.
Hoov does the work. All right. This is going to cause some feathers to be ruffled. Hey, you guys, if you're watching in the chat, tell us some of your reactions of these picks. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Who's your team? Who do you want them to pick? If you have a team and you have a choice, throw it in the comments. Because if you're a Dallas fan, you're going Jahdae Barron.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh,
okay.
Right.
All right. All right. Okay, bud. I see what we're doing here. I'm not going to fall for your tricks, though.
To be Jerry Jones, you have to be inside Jerry Jones. And I am inside Jerry Jones right now.
Whoa!
And that's why I had the Cowboys trading back in my final mock draft, because there's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of talent they could move back. I had them moving back and ending up getting someone that's right here in this queue. So Jahdae Barron, I contemplated it, but I thought there's probably more crucial priority to get like a Mari Cooper replacement with Tet. So that's where my mind's at. I had another team moving up for a player here, but Barron's probably like a cornerback replacement. Yeah, it's up there. I think
I just can't think of a more Jerry Jones pick.
Shamar Stewart Like to get a Lawrence replacement for the Cowboys there, like that would have been nice.
Yeah.
So you could even go like Michael Williams if they thought that that's a possibility. But I guess Jody Barron's not bad. Keep it in Texas.
I just can't think of a more Jerry Jones pick. And we'll talk in a little bit about trading, because when Hoov loves to imagine trades, and I absolutely hate it.
I have
And
7
we'll talk
trades
about
in my mock draft.
we'll talk about why in a little bit. Chev, you're on the clock with Miami.
I'm shook. I'm shooketh. Thou hast me shook. But I'm gonna do the boring thing that I've done in almost every mock draft. One of my favorite players to watch at the Senior Bowl, just due to how disruptive he was, not only on Saturdays, but at the Senior Bowl with other grown men, was Walter Nolan. So
Okay.
I'm going to go with Walter Nolan, interior defensive line extraordinaire out of Ole Miss.
We are
That's
traveling
offensive
down
line.
the
Is
rankings for
insane.
that.
Like I was right there. I really like when I was in the start of my
What is
process.
wrong
I
with
had
me?
Walter Nolan 17 17
To the
Bengals
Bengals?
all
Yep.
the way. And I'm like, the more I listened to other people, like when I was at the combine, and they're like, Walter Nolan's going to go a little later than people are expecting. I'm like, how late is later? Because the talent is abundant.
Like what
you know, with
what
Walter
am
Nolan.
I missing here?
That's what I
Like,
thought.
oh, he came in at 296, the same weight as Mason Graham, and we were questioning whether or not he had the size to play inside. Oh, okay, then I guess. Like, you watch
I
the
just think
Senior Bowl
people
tape.
are bigger in on Kenneth Grant right now than Walter Nolan.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's 340 pounds, so he's more of a prototypical, like, you can put him at 1 tech, or you can put him at the 3 technique, or if you're, if you're more of a 3-4, like kind of multiple front, he can play true nose. I mean, you got the film of him running down Katron Allen. Like, I understand the thought process here. I'm not gonna steal your shine though. You are on the clock, Hoov.
Give me Tyler Warren, easy peasy.
No,
If Brock Bowers was not a top 10 pick, Tyler Warren will not be a top 10 pick. I promise. That is my lack of the draft. Colts are going to get.
I wanted you to do something else so desperately, so badly. I wanted you to do.
You meant Warren, didn't you?
Yeah, I want Warren to go. Like, I wanted to take him with the Atlanta pick, or somebody take him with the Atlanta pick. Everybody's acting like, the tight end position is solidified in Atlanta. Kyle Pitts is on his last year and he sucks. So, like, why not replace him with a guy who, like, can actually play tight end? He's just not dead if you line him up, as an actual tight end.
I think Kyle Pitts could easily get traded this offseason, but it lines him up perfectly. You're staring at him at 15. Who's up? Who's up at 15? Bigz, is that you?
Yeah, that's bigz. That's Bigsy.
Bigz, make it easy.
And bigging it, Bigz.
Falcons and
bigging it.
So Falcons go Michael Williams. Falcons go Michael Williams. The Falcons they have a legacy of front seven concentration. Like that's how they like to build, and it didn't change with their new coaching staff coming over from the LA Rams. They love themselves some edge rushers. They want to find guys that'll be generational talents, and I feel like there's a cabal of NFL GMs right now that are trying to keep Georgia players away from Howie Roseman.
Yes, they are. Now they're going to be
Chev, you're on the clock with the
Hoov. You can have this pick.
Arizona Cardinals.
Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to get an edge rusher here, and it's not the one you're staring at. I'm going to go with James Pierce Jr.
Let's go. Let's go.
James Pierce Jr. should have been, even Donovan Ezeraku right there just would have been nasty, but I'm going with James Pierce Jr. Could have been a first overall pick, but obviously the stock's sliding. People are saying later, but I can't. The talent's there.
Talent.
Even that's what I was saying. Like between the edge rushers, you're looking at Shamar Stewart, Michael Williams, Jalen Walker. Like how could he go earlier than that? But I don't think he falls any later than Arizona.
The issues with his patterns of behavior in certain instances have given people pause. And I think that he's going to be a tremendous value. I saw on Twitter, I can't remember who, so guys, don't shoot me. Him and Abdul Carter had 2 of the highest pressure rates of the last like 10 years of the edge class. So like you basically take the Spider-Man meme and point Abdul Carter and James Pierce at each other, and that's the type of talent that he is. Like physically, they're both incredibly imposing. He's actually a little bit taller and longer. So, I think that's such a tremendous pick, man. Great job.
Jonathan Gannon getting James Pierce Jr. and saying, screw the narrative. This is a dog. Let me get him.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that, I'm going to take the beefy boy. I'm going to take Kenneth Grant here for the Cincinnati Bengals. Mind you guys, Ashton Genty is still available. Ted McMillan is still available, guys.
Right.
Embigging it, Biggs.
Well, for McMillan, the fall stops now. He goes to Seattle. They get their ex-wide receiver to go along with Jackson Smith and Jigba, Kanan Smith and Jigba's brother, and yeah, that's an easy one.
And Eastern Washington legend and Seattle native Cooper Kupp, Booper Bup, as some refer to him.
Sometimes.
Who's up with Tampa Bay?
Chev is back with Tampa.
I'm going to do the grossest thing of all time. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to ruin all of the fantasy stocks for just a set of people. I'm kidding. I can't do it. Give me Jihad Campbell.
Thank you. Oh, good pick. Jihad Campbell going to that defense. Like, I think they're going to trade up to get Jihad Campbell. I don't care.
You've watched Jihad Campbell, obviously, Hoov, and I can't unsee him being a bigger Levante David. Like, he's going to be what they wanted out of Devin White, but in a bigger, stronger, like in a bigger frame with the capabilities of being the green dot linebacker, with obviously Levante only having a year or two left, we assume, right? So they've got to get help. They've obviously gone and signed Hassan Reddick. They're going to beef up that defense because we know Todd Bowles, and what we do know is Todd Bowles likes to blitz his linebackers, and that is one thing that Jihad Campbell walks into the door and he's able to do immediately.
I think they're going to have to move up to get him, though, too. And, like I really, at the start of my process, he was locked into San Francisco at 11. And then I'm like, maybe go to Dallas, then because they need linebackers, too. And then you just, maybe Miami does it. And it just falls and falls. And you're like, Tampa Bay cannot afford to not draft this guy. So Jihad Campbell, I even thought the Bengals would be a nasty fit too for Jihad Campbell. Like,
I think we've had him.
Jermaine Pratt is walking, I believe, and I think Jermaine Pratt walked, and Logan Wilson he got injured at the end of last year, didn't he? Yeah. If I recall correctly. So, what Biggs? You were going to say something?
Well, no, we're part of what we're doing here is we're going through the thought exercise of what teams might do. But another part is that we're trolling people, and think of all the Bucky Irving and Rashad White tiers that would have been out there if
I know. I did it in a draft. I did it in a draft with DFK, and then I just I almost blacked out from how elated I was about how much Bucky Irving would be ruined if Ashton Genty showed up in Tampa Bay. And I mean, a single tear fell down my face. Like there was a rainbow in the sky and a lightning bolt at the same time. I didn't know what to do with myself.
To be honest with you, the Buccaneers have an opportunity to completely torpedo Bucky and Rashad White for a couple of more rounds. So if draft capital wins, we have argued Rashad White versus Bucky Irving, and wouldn't the best solution be just draft a running back in the second round and end it? All right, I'm going to take the Broncos just because I love to make this pick to troll Johnny Tuma.
Oh my God.
And
Oh. My
so
heart.
Chev Hoov will go ahead and give you the Steelers.
My
I'm
heart.
taken back right now by that Io Minor pick. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's trolling one of our cohorts. So
I'm so sorry for one of your cohorts right now, because that's something.
That's my favorite thing to
For
do.
me, I'm in this mindset right now where I know Jackson Dart's available. I'm just going to throw my theory out there and see where you guys think of it. Now, look at Tyler Shuck's stats last year and compare him to Aaron Rodgers, and tell me that you can't get the same upside from Tyler Shuck. Older prospect, gunslinger, like the maturity out of him. Like, I don't care about the injuries. Like, obviously you care about the injuries in a sense. Like, that's why the Steelers brought him into their top 30. They're going to check out that medical and see what he can do. But I'm talking about, if Dart's already gone, right here, you could be talking about the Steelers moving back, and even like a team like the Eagles moving up for someone like Malachi Starks here with this pick, and then having the Steelers move back to take a quarterback, and then they can just make sure that they get their guy right before the second round happens. That's where I'm going with. But just because, go to quarterbacks, and then let's do Jackson Dart here just to keep things.
All right.
I think it's Tyler Shuck. I do. I really think it's Tyler Shuck. They're going to move back and get him, but we'll do Dart for the exercise.
you're saying
Right.
that you think so. What range do you think that Tyler Shuck actually goes here?
I think this is when you jump down. This is my theory. As I said, you got 1, 2, Cam Ward, Shador. Giants move back to 7, take Dart. Now you got this whole time where when's QB4 going to go? And right here, the Eagles move up to take Malachi Starks. Steelers move back and take Tyler Shuck with the 32nd. That's my idea. So we'll see.
Tyler Shuck is super toolsy, and I mean, it didn't take him a long time to break out. It took him a long time to be able to play because he kept getting horrible season-ending injuries. So, like, he does somewhere on the spectrum between like prime Jay Cutler and prime Nathan Peterman. Like that's just what's on the film. Like, it's like, oh, this guy is incredible. Oh, why did he do that?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand it. I just that would be something. But he has the athleticism and the tools. If they're willing to make that investment, it could pay off in spades.
I posted this today, and I'll recite it for the audience. Rodgers 2024 stats versus Shucks. Rodgers 368 out of 584 attempts at 63%, 3,867 passing yards, 28 passing touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Shuck 244 out of 389. That's 62.7%, only 0.3% less. 3,195 passing yards, 23 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Like, if you're talking about a guy that's going to buy into Mike Tomlin's system, like, is Aaron Rodgers, do you think that Aaron Rodgers is a culture fit in Pittsburgh? I don't think so. Tyler Shuck, like, that's basically what you're getting. A 63% completion. Like, Aaron's not going to be MVP. You're just asking for an average quarterback that's not going to turn the ball over. Let TJ Watt and that defense do their thing. Why can't that be Tyler Shuck? You got an older prospect. Like, he's got the injury concerns. Like, so did Michael Penix. You got the age concerns. So did Bo Nix. He charges with a guy with an injury history. Like, you'd think, dude, take it easy. Like, even Jaden Daniels was doing that. Like, Tyler Shuck, I don't think he's going to light up fantasy leagues, but that could be an NFL starter. At least in the time before in 2026, when the draft is in Pittsburgh, then they can maybe improve on the position.
Well, I mean, a first round pick, you're guaranteeing that guy at least 3 years. I mean, that's what Kenny Pickett got, is it not? Or did he just get the 2 seasons?
Urgency. I think it's a lot of urgency. Like, you're going after Aaron and knowing there's probably 1-2 years left in Aaron. That could be the same thing with Shuck. But that's just like safety. There's no better option. Like, do you really want to be stuck with Mason Rudolph right now, or would you rather have a little bit more of upside with a guy like Tyler Shuck?
Well, I mean, the risk is just he can't play at all. Biggs, give me Ashton Genty right now. Do it. Put it on the screen. Do it right now.
It was one of the reasons that I wanted Hoov to come on, because I know that your brain is working hard, working overtime, trying to suss all this out, and it's takes like that make it special. The only thing that I would question is how high a grade the NFL has on Tyler Shuck, and I'm not convinced it's first round. If
it's not
and
first round,
the other thing is, if the Steelers, I mean, there are going to be some guys that I think fit Arthur Smith pretty closely, who are likely graded ahead of Shuck. I like Shuck, but we'll see how personnel does in the NFL. So the Chargers go with Genty, and I hate that. I'm gonna go Green Bay, Tyler Booker.
Aaron Banks,
Man.
Tyler Booker, just plowing defensive tackles into the dust with Elton Jenkins playing center. That's nasty work, boys. That's nasty work. That's nasty work what you did there, Biggs.
Can I take Minnesota then?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Give me Nick Emanwari here. I want Nick Emanwari, a high-profile safety. Like, you got Harrison Smith there. He's back for a year. You don't know the future. You need someone with an insane athletic profile out of Nick Emanwari to go to that Brian Flores defense. Nick Emanwari, like, in this mock, would he be? Yeah, he's the first safety off the board. Yeah. I don't know if I'm there, but man, it could be a coin toss between those two, because you got the leadership of Starks, you got the athleticism of Emanwari.
Well, I will tell you that I have Emanwari graded ahead of Starks.
Okay.
I can't get there. I mean, I love the fact that he's an athletic freak. I mean, he's a walking Under Armour mannequin. But I can't get there with Nick Emanwari yet. Now he's gonna be incredible for Madden. Like he's gonna break the whole, like he's gonna be the quintessential user for Madden. Like if you like user lurks and stuff. Anyway, my bad. So I'm going to I'm gonna completely neglect the trenches, much like the Texans have done, and I'm gonna take Matthew Golden right here. Yeah, they're just trying to get CJ Stroud killed. So we're gonna go Matthew Golden here.
And
for
the Rams, I'm gonna go Colston Loveland.
Great pick. I have them trading up for him, actually. So the fact that he slid there, I love it.
Give Matthew Stafford, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, and Colston Loveland, and Tutu Atwell. You don't have to worry about Tyler Higbee. You don't. I mean, it just it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. They're looking for that. I know, Biggs. We've got to speed it up. Who are we on the clock with here? The Ravens?
You are on the clock with the Ravens.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good on time.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. So give me, all right, let's pull up the interior defensive line here.
You got it. Oh, you said defensive line.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Let's go here, and let's go. Michael Pierce just retired. I don't think that there's Kenneth Grant would be the 1-to-1 replacement for that body type. I don't think that they go with that. Obviously, they have to think about replacing Kyle Van Noy if he doesn't come back as well, or if he just decides to retire. So give me Derek Harmon here.
Yep, that's a good pick.
Yeah, give me Derek Harmon here.
All right. And
I've gone a bunch of different directions. I always end up with the Ravens in these, but I just, if we do a 3-man mock, and I've taken a different guy every time, because you're not drafting for you're luxury drafting if you're the Ravens.
Right. So that's the same way that they took Lamar. Was just
breaking news.
Hey, who? Jameis?
That's right.
What happened?
Giants and Jameis 2-year contract.
Let's go. Yeah. Malik Neighbors to the moon. Let's go.
I'm going to be betting over on Malik Neighbors' longest reception every week. Yeah. Every week.
Yeah, why? If they've released the season props, I have to go put a significant sum on the over on his receiving yards too.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Good.
Who are
I
you?
mean,
Who are you
hey,
thinking?
that talks about Jackson Dart right there. So great. If you
Who
can
are you
beat out.
thinking with the Ravens pick just then? Hoov?
What did I think about it? The Ravens pick?
Well, yeah. What direction were you thinking about going there?
You picked him a little earlier, but I had the same position, defensive tackle. I think that is the prime Walter Nolan spot. You're talking about
Interesting.
like the way that the Ravens draft when they talk about buckets, like how could the Ravens not have Walter Nolan at the top of their defensive tackle bucket? Like just
For sure.
talent alone, they don't pass on guys like that. So Walter Nolan, like he can fall, but if he falls past Baltimore, I don't
mean,
see
him paired with Nnamdi Madubuike would be a nightmare pass rush tandem. I mean, that's kind of his archetype, honestly.
We have an incoming projection. Jameis Winston, 5,300 yards, 56 touchdowns, 37 interceptions.
I think you're a little low, man. I think you're a little low.
Malik Neighbors
on all three of them.
Malik Neighbors, 156 receptions, 1,786 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Giants 3-14, first overall pick.
Yeah. Bring me Arch. Arch 2026 is now on the clock.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We're with Lions. Who's up?
And the report says you are, but the report says that the Giants have stated they are still not out on bringing in another quarterback in free agency or the draft. So that do they pair Winston and Rodgers? Or
no,
are they so convinced by the Rodgers visit in Pittsburgh that they're like, all right, pivot, Jameis, and then draft a developmental like Jalen Milroe, somebody like that.
Jackson Dart Jackson Dart
That's what it kind of signals. That's what it kind of signals to me is they're gonna do what it takes to get a young guy. Either that or they're punting for Arch in 2026.
They're up already.
That's a big part of it too. Is like I've been saying that everywhere is this whole narrative about the quarterback class not being that great. It's like, well, they're in between what could be last year one of the greatest quarterback classes of all time, which is like a weighted scale when you're comparing it to those guys. Next year, we don't even know if Arch and Nico are coming out. Like we saw very little of Arch and Nico, like you know how they fade Tennessee players. So he might even need an extra year just to kind of prove it to all the doubters with the system. So like I'm like if it's between Aller and Nussmeier, I had Ward and Sanders over both of those guys this year. So like I don't know how that they can transcend to make it like that much better of a 2026 class without Arch and Nico. So
yeah, and we have to factor in that there's going to be somebody who emerges that we're not talking about. You know, only Campus Canton people are lightly whispering that guy being a breakout right now.
As we all know, the 2026 draft starts in Mobile. All right, Hoov, you are on the clock with the Lions at 28.
Let's go back to defensive tackle. I'm gonna stick with the position just because profile's there. Let's go with Alfred Collins, man.
Okay.
Oh my!
Pushing his draft stock as high as I can, whether it's early second in this scenario. Let's push him into the first. Man, good luck, Josh Jacobs. Good luck, whatever running back the Bears take. Good luck, Aaron Jones, because the Lions are ready to come back and play some defense.
That's nasty.
All right. I am going with Washington, Josh Simmons. We got Buffalo, Chev. Do them dirty, baby.
All right.
You do.
Okay. All right.
Chev has a history with Bills fans.
Yeah, the Bills fans absolutely eviscerated me on another mock draft for drafting them a linebacker and a slot receiver because Khalil Shakir was in the last year of his deal. It's the most ridiculous notion ever to draft a slot receiver. Anywho, let me see what my options are here. Let's go back. Can we get up? Can we scroll up? Go to all, please. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Real good. Yeah. Give me Mike Green. Yeah, give me Mike Green. Von Miller's on his way out. AJ Epinesa is solid. but we need something else there. Yeah, give me Mike Green.
All right, and I'm gonna have Hoov take the Chiefs, and I'm gonna take the Eagles.
Okay. I was leaning actually Landon Jackson with Buffalo, just because they met with him 8 times.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Oh my!
And they
I
love
know,
themselves.
Tell me that. I have designs on Landon Jackson at pick 35. Okay, don't tell me that.
To who?
The Titans.
Oh, that's a good pick too. Oh, I think I had that in one of my mocks too. So I think that is, dude. As much as like right here, like Jonathan Azaraku would be so nice.
Yes,
just the perfect like profile.
Yes,
like
I know he fits. It makes way too much sense, and I don't like you saying it out loud because now my peaceful George Pickens dreams have turned into Landon Jackson, bald-headed, no eyebrow nightmares.
No kidding, right? Oh, okay, so KC.
Let me ask you a question before I'm gonna pose this question. Would it not be so Chiefs to go Luther Burden here? Anyway, okay. What did you want me to go to?
Go to tackle, offensive tackle.
Oh man. Oh, I know what you're gonna do here.
I
know what you're gonna do here.
I've heard the reports about Cameron Williams. I don't buy it. I think that if any team is gonna move up or like really lock in on Josh Simmons, I think it's the Chiefs. I'm not buying that they're like super interested in Cameron Williams. I could be wrong. I mean, they could be locked in on it. But here, like, why wouldn't you draft Wyatt Millum, in my opinion, right here? So give me Wyatt Millum. I think Josh Connerly, like, he could be right here. It's really like a coin flip. Like, you're seeing kind of a teardrop after Josh Simmons. I mean, look at what Josh Simmons could have been if he didn't get hurt. Top 5 pick, probably. Like, that would have been a lock to the Patriots if he didn't get hurt. So I can't have him falling. Or, I think that he's going to be a first rounder like we had him earlier, but Wyatt Millum's probably the next guy, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because he's got that flexibility. You can put him at guard. You can put him anywhere. Like, Chiefs need help everywhere.
Speaking of flexibility, put him at guard or tackle or center. This is a Howie Roseman pick, simply based on the fact that every time I like a guy, Howie Roseman takes him. End of the first round, Gray's Abel goes to the Eagles.
What? You see, you hyped that up so perfectly for Malachi Starks that they're going to replace CJ with another Georgia boy, and then they're going to get Malachi Starks at that secondary. And you said, you threw me off. I thought we were setting it up perfectly.
As someone who's done a million shows with Biggs at this point, once he said, anytime that I like a guy, Howie Roseman takes him, I was like, oh, this is Gray's Abel. I knew it. It's like Malachi Starks is the second round pick now, boys. You can kiss that goodbye. Yeah. I knew as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, like Gray's Abel's on screen. It's Gray's Abel. But this is just the benefit of us having done hundreds of shows together at this point.
Yeah.
Is it hundreds?
All right.
Do you think we're in the hundreds yet? Not in the hundreds.
No, we're
in the mid 40s to 50s.
Yeah, I was going to say 50s, somewhere around 50s. Because 2 shows a week, plus there were some weeks where we were doing 3 shows a week. And it's been at least 10 weeks. So, yeah, it's definitely there are dozens of us. Multiple dozens. All right. Hoov, thank you so much for coming on. This was super fun. It's always good to kind of like get a little insight into what other people are thinking and projecting for the general managers to do. And it's just a fun exercise, and we can continue to do it throughout the rest of the draft season. Everybody pay attention over the next 10 days because there's more pro days coming, getting you ready for Lan Larison's pro day on March 31st. I just want to throw that out there. I do want to talk for a second about the idea of mocking trades, because it's something that I really tend to stay away from, simply because there has never been a trade that I predicted that happened, and there's never been a trade that happens that didn't just surprise the crap out of me. So it's not something that I include in the thought exercise of mock drafting, because you don't know what's happening in the war rooms at the time of the draft. The Detroit Lions, like taking Jahmyr Gibbs, is the perfect example of that. We didn't realize kind of the goings on until that was all released on Hard Knocks and stuff. That stuff happens. So you have a situation where a few years ago, the Raiders drafted Cleveland Ferrell at number 4, and they had the 104, and they tried desperately to get out of that spot. Nothing had materialized, and they showed their butt, and it set the franchise back. So they were desperately working the phones. You had another instance where a couple of years ago, Dave Ziegler had the Houston Texans on the phone, ready to trade out, and they were gonna grab C.J. Stroud, and Josh McDaniels stepped in and said, no, the deal was in place between Ziegler and Houston, and McDaniels said, no, we're not doing that. They didn't draft C.J. Stroud. So it's really hard to kind of get a fix on what happens with trades. But on the other hand, Hoov loves doing it, and just about every mock draft, he's got the calculus. So what goes into your thought process when you're trying to evaluate whether a team is going to trade within the draft or not?
Like a lot of times it's okay, how is it going to fall? And then where is the tier? Like you're probably in every round, there's like at least 5 guys you're like locked in. Like, we are not leaving this round without one of these guys. And like priority wise, it could be like we only leave them without 3 or whatever. If there's just a scenario where you can't move up, you can't move up. But I'm thinking about positional needs. I'm thinking about how it could fall. Honestly, it might be even easier. Can I walk through a few of these trades with you? Yeah. Just the audience, just to see what you got. All right. So first one, like I talked about earlier, Jets moving up to 3 to get Travis Hunter. Now, you're probably not going to get a phenomenal talent like that at 7. So you're going to have to go up and get it. Now, the Giants probably, like I talked about, they're going to bait the Raiders to say, draft a quarterback, draft a running back. We dare you, and we'll get the leftovers. Even someone like we talked about, Armand Membu. I look at Chicago, San Francisco, and then Dallas, Miami right there. And I go, who needs an offensive lineman the most out of that group? And then I asked myself again, I said, neither of them. It's Seattle. So why wouldn't Seattle move up to 9 and get Armand Membu before the rest of them? Trades like that, or even, I'm trying to think what's another one. Even like I had Tampa Bay taking Jahad Campbell, but I had them moving up and switching with Arizona because I know teams are a little hesitant on James Pierce Jr. So both of those guys are going to the same spots, but in this scenario, I had the Bengals moving up to 12 to get Shamar Stewart because you got Atlanta right there. You got Arizona at the time. Like, they're thinking, we're going to get our guy. We don't want the leftovers of edge 3. We're getting our guy. And we're getting someone with freak athleticism, even though he only had a sack and a half last year. So things like that, like where like the Rams, as much as it was an awesome idea for Colston Loveland to fall there, I can't see a scenario where he actually goes past the Chargers. Like, I don't think that Jim Harbaugh would actually pass on Colston Loveland there. So the Rams are going to have to move up to get a guy like that. And it could give up a little trade compensation, but if Denver moves back, they could also land someone like Travion Henderson to be the running back of the future for Sean Payton. So it's like little things like that where you can see like, all right, this player shouldn't go above this guy because the talent's there. Obviously people fall, but how can I, like, when I'm doing my top 30 players, how can I get as appropriate to that list as possible and make it obtainable? That's kind of like my thought process. Like, things change. As long as I'm like 80% correct, I think I'm doing okay. Yeah. Like if I'm like 4,
if you're 80% correct, you need to move to Vegas and gamble for a living. On this.
Right.
But that's the thing.
You're 80% correct. I'll start DMing you for plays every day, bud.
But drafts like one little thing could change so much about it. And that's why like going through these things is great, because I can think I'm right, but in all reality, I'm probably not. Like, I'm probably not right about most, because there's something like bigz was alluding to, that we don't know what every move's going to be. We can think we know, but we don't know until it happens. We got 34 days until we know, but until then we can speculate, and it's fun to do so. So that's where my trades come from.
I'm so excited about getting to Green Bay. I got a homework assignment for you, Hoov. I want you to put together a mock draft in which every pick is in the first round is trade.
I can do it.
So
I can do it. Like
32 trades.
Like, I could find a way to do it. I know. I'm the guy, and like my league mates hate me at times because I'll be the guy that's like bored at like 12:30 in the morning, and I'm like, this guy has his backup quarterback, and like he doesn't really need it. Like, so all of a sudden it's 2:30, and you got a 12-team trade coming from Hoov. And you're like, all right, dude, go to bed. That's me. My mind just works that way. I'm trying to fill holes.
When I'm in that mode, I'm drafting fast draft. All right, you guys, thank you all for watching. We will be back with you on Friday. Thank you, Hoov, for coming on. I will talk to you on the Blue Ski, and I'll see you in Green Bay. And don't forget to watch the Dynasty Stock Market on Tuesday. Chances are I'm not going to be on that show for a little while. If I am not dismissed from jury duty on Monday, I will be part of a jury that will be going for 26 days into the beginning of May. So all of my daytime podcasts are toast at that point. Or we'll record on the weekend and then post it, but it certainly won't be live. Have fun, play fast draft. Hope you guys win, and we'll see you next week.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to playerprofiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.
All right, guys, I'll see you later.